This is a translated speech of President Ibrahim from French to English. The lead sense may not be accurate, but trust me, it is authentic. Now take a look.
We are multiplying this kind of initiative so that the army can participate in agricultural production. The army will also take part in educating the youngest because patriotism needs to be taught. So the army will have a leading role, at least in the future, in the life of the nation.
Let's move on to the economy now. Mr. President, the economy of countries at war is generally affected. What are your strategies to revive the national economy?
There are many things in the works that we might not reveal right away, but first it was about controlling public spending. That is currently underway. That's what allows us to make acquisitions. Secondly, it's true that we've tightened up a bit on domestic debt in order to equip the army. We've reached a stage where we've given the order. I think that starting next week, all the small debts we've set aside a certain amount, they will all be paid next week. And gradually, we'll move on to the larger debts so that the domestic economy can function as well. Because if the domestic debt isn't paid, the economy won't be able to function. But we needed to take this break to equip ourselves, to get organized, and to start this process. Thank God the people have been resilient, and I think it's time to allow a bit of relief so that the economy can function. We need to industrialize. That's imperative because the economy isn't necessarily complicated. When you are too dependent on the outside, even if you generate wealth, you are forced to go and pay. That's a drain of foreign currency. You produce raw materials, you send them abroad, and they process them. That means you're sending jobs abroad, and here you aren't creating any jobs. How are we going to get out of this? That's why we launched an industrialization process to be able to employ young people, but also to prevent our foreign currency from flowing out. Other important sectors are our natural resources. We've been able to assess them more or less. It's not just about gold. Yeah, we have a lot of very interesting things. When you look at just cement production, here in Burkina we have limestone. But in addition to limestone, we've discovered that we have a very good type of clay that can replace clinker. So we're currently considering all these technologies, how to set up factories locally that will allow us to process all of this on site. This will prevent our foreign currency from ending up abroad. There are other aspects that we can't elaborate on in this sector, but in any case, we have good prospects.
Mr. President, as your companies and individuals who had unpaid invoices.
Yes, a lot of hope. I asked to see the list of all the companies that had debts. I even saw companies with invoices of less than 5 million that were lingering at the treasury and so on that hadn't been paid. So we gave orders, we made a plan. All these companies up to a certain invoice amount will be paid normally next week. And after that, there will be a second round to gradually clear the rest. But we had to make a plan to really be able to ensure things and also to guarantee a minimum in terms of security and defense.
Precisely. Do you have a significant message for the resilient Burkinabe people who continue to contribute their utmost to the ongoing war effort?
We give thanks only to God who allowed us to explain things to the people and they understood. That is all we can say. We will thank God for that. And the people understood our mission, our vision, the objective. We thank them. It is this contribution that allows Burkina to flex its muscles and do what it must to survive. Without the people's contribution, without their acceptance of the strategy we developed to get them involved, it would not have been possible. It would have been difficult, very difficult, because the pace at which we have moved forward is thanks to the people. Otherwise, how could we have managed to equip, as I said, so many men in such a short period of time? It might have taken us 2 or 3 years to equip them to that level. But the people understood. We put a lot of measures in place. They understood. So all we can do is thank God and thank the people who truly understood the mission.
Your Excellency, you stated that you have laid the foundation stones for several factories in various locations. How does your government plan to finance all these projects and ensure their effective and sustainable implementation?
Yes. The foundation stones that have been laid, that's already a done deal. It's the construction that will now begin. But there are factories that we started building last year, some of which we will inaugurate with certain private partners. But there are also factories that will be built 100% by the state. We have a financing strategy. First, the former deposit and consignment fund, which we have transformed into an investment deposit fund. The goal is to finance industrialization. There is also the Burkina Fund for Economic and Social Development, which we are currently revitalizing in order to finance industrialization. And for all of this, we will rely on the achievements of our state-owned companies. Because the system, as we were saying, I tried to explain this the other day in Bamford, the system that was in place wasn't necessarily good. There you go. It needs to be said clearly. We have state-owned companies that are making profits, but those are placed in term deposits in banks. That's fine. If the economy was doing very well and we didn't have any particular challenges, we could keep a term deposit, it generates interest. We could take this, do what people want right now, which is to pay the 85th and 95th months, but we're not at that stage yet. Currently, we are in the process of reviewing. I'll take this opportunity to announce it. We are going to review many regulations in state-owned companies to first consider compensation. That's one thing, because it's unbalanced compared to the general population. And the term deposits, we are going to address those as well. That too might not necessarily please the banking institutions, but they need to understand that we have to keep the economy running. And in fact, this will allow them to develop themselves. When money is deposited and just sits there, not working, it's useless. So it will be these state-owned companies that will finance many businesses, many industries, that will produce and prevent us from having to go abroad every time to get what we need. So that's the main part. But we also have our natural resources. That's where you're going. The new code will be submitted to the assembly. We will also rely on gold exploitation to industrialize the country. We are going to exploit in any case. As far as gold is concerned, we know about iron. APEC was instructed. We are going to set up. It already started with Sonaspe, the first processing units. This was set up in Zogo, and others are currently being established in the southwest. To obtain gold, to produce this wealth that will allow us to industrialize. In short, there are many other areas we are working on to achieve this. Should employees of state-owned companies expect a salary decrease? Not a salary decrease, but an adjustment. For some, it might be a decrease. For others, it might be an increase. And for others, it will remain the same. But I won't go into certain details to avoid causing problems. But the way things are being done is not right. First of all, it's too inconsistent. Each company operates in its own way. Whether it's the salary scale or the board of directors, each one decides how to compensate themselves. That's not good. We need to balance everything and have a guiding principle. That's what we're working on right now. In principle, maybe some people will see their salaries decrease, but it's for the general public. And they need to understand that.
Mr. President, people say the structures aren't the same.
Yes, the structures aren't the same, but we have state-owned companies. So everything should contribute to allowing the state to get something. Because what is the state, really? Everywhere we go like this, people are asking for roads. How do we do it? We have to build them. We have to build them. People don't have access to clean water. We need to create enough forests. There are so many challenges in Burkina, but we have to use. We can't have people earning millions a month in salary while others are drinking water from a pond. Number. We need to balance things out so we can serve those in the villages who have basic needs.
All right, thank you for watching. Vime